All right. Hello, everyone, and we are live with the Tarot Tribe. I'm glad you all made it tonight. It's another Thursday night, and we have a lot of new faces here. So if you don't know, this is what we do. Every Thursday night, we go live, and I will ask Spirit for whatever guidance, wisdom, or inspiration you seek through the wonderful and transformative power of tarot. And before we get to everyone's individual readings, I will pull a reading for our group for the week to start. If you have not already, put your request in the chat. And my wonderful wife and moderator, Candy Hearts Art, will get you into the queue. And we already have a few people in the queue already. So we already have Helen Hummingbird, Pretty in Pink, and Britt all lined up for individual personal readings. And I see our good friend Natasha is in tonight, and we will add you as well, Natasha. So thanks for showing up. I know it's a late night for you, being out in Eastern time zone. But thank you again, everyone, for showing up. And if you are new here and you haven't, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon so that you never miss another live or upload here on my station channel. First, let's start with our group reading. And if you aren't new here, you'll notice that we have changed it up a little bit. I decided to do away with the graphics for this week. I think we're going to change those a little. It's come to my attention that the reading queue on screen is just kind of tiny and hard to read, especially with everyone watching on their phones. So we're going to come up with something a little different. But for tonight, we're just going to go bare bones. No problem at all. I think you'll be able to see the cards a little better this way. So I'll welcome in Panya. So for the group, what wisdom does Spirit have for us? Well, let's see. Oh, yeah, the Four of Swords. Strength. And our Ace of Cups. Oh, that's very exciting. I remember last week's group reading was very much a lot of introspection and sort of soul searching and a sort of a period of that. So I hope you've all been able to do some of that and look inward a bit, gain some new insight as we get to the backstretch of the summer here and prepare to go back into fall, back to school for so many of us, and just back to sort of the bountiful harvest of the year. So what I sense for us this week, hopefully you've taken some rest. And the Four of Swords here is that card of rest and reflection. Like I said, last week there was a big call to do some soul searching, some inward looking. And if you haven't pulled back a bit, taken time for rest, it's not too late to do so. So certainly take time to do that. And don't get down on yourself for doing so. You know, we live in this hustle culture, this get up and go world, and we're never really allowed or give space to just stop, to just be, to rest and contemplate and understand ourselves a little better. And so strength is about that gentle, compassionate strength. Really a call to be loving towards ourselves by allowing us rest. And by doing so, what will emerge in the next week or so is a new relationship with yourself, some new understanding, sort of a breakthrough in your emotional state of being. Some peace and clarity and joy will open up. And as that opens up, you may also find yourself attracting in some new people into your life as well. As the relationships that we make with people, whether they be romantic or friendships or family, they reflect absolutely who we are, how we feel about ourselves. So if we are in a happy, joyful, and peaceful state of being, then we will bring happy, joyful, and peaceful relationships into our lives. So I think that's a beautiful message from Spirit for the week. And now we will continue on to everyone's individual readings. And we've already got a few more folks in here. So just to recap, we have Helen Hummingbird, Pretty in Pink, Britt, Natasha, and Burger Heather you are all in the queue. And if you haven't already requested, but you're thinking about it, you're on the fence, please don't hesitate. We do kind of fill up and get busy. We go about 2 hours and then I have to pack it in. So if you want a reading, don't be shy. Speak up in the chat and we will get you in the queue for readings. So let's start with Helen Hummingbird. What is coming towards my life in the next 2 months? A great question for tarot and for Spirit. Kind of a nice general reading. Okay. One more good shuffle. Okay, Helen, here's what Spirit has to say to you today about the future, the next couple months of your life. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, well, and Three of Cups. So there's a lot of abundance and bounty and prosperity here heading towards you. I sense that you've already experienced a good bit of growing abundance and riches. And until now, it may not have shown up as a pile of money in your bank account, or a bunch of gold jewelry or something. But the things that are the underworkings of abundance and of your prosperity are there, and they are growing behind the scenes. They have been growing behind the scenes. And the Queen of Pentacles is someone who not only is wise about their actual material wealth, but is also very kind and generous. And that certainly seems to describe you, Helen. And now in the present, and as we go into the 2 months here, in the next 2 months, what you're really looking at is you're sort of evolving from the Queen energy to the King. So your abundance and wealth has been more of a passive thing. It is the abundance of your energy, your goodwill towards others, the ways in which you help and serve others in the world. And that's very powerful. And now as we move into these next 2 months, this is going to start to turn into actual monetary abundance, actual physical manifestations of wealth. And it will require you to step into a little more active role in this. You are going to have to do a bit more. Don't make yourself crazy and run yourself into the ground. You don't necessarily have to go and get another job or something like that, but you're going to have to be a little more active in how you are guiding and steering your relationship with the money and other riches in your life. And as you do so, this stuff will really start to show up as actual material wealth. Along with that, a greater joy and abundance of your friendships and relationships will grow as well. So I sense that there may end up being some people in your life who help to support that in a bigger way. So as you're trying to sort of take the reins here more so, you will probably want to engage with some of the people that you're closest with, that you trust the most, good friends, good family, and build some stronger relationship with those people. Engage with them more. They're going to be part of this growing abundance. So that's what I see happening for you in the next couple months. I hope that makes some sense. And if it doesn't, please let me know in the comments. I'll try to clarify a bit, but a lot of really good fortunes for you, Helen. So a wonderful, wonderful reading. And thank you so much for your question tonight. And welcome in, Patty. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can't say it enough. It's great to have all of my greatest supporters here. And we always love to see new people as well. Moving on, we'll get on to Pretty in Pink's question. Our first love reading of the night. Lovely, lovely. We do love our love and romance readings. When I first started reading tarot professionally for others, I didn't think the love readings were going to be sort of the topic that I enjoyed reading about the most. But actually, I found that it is probably one of the most interesting and one of my favorite questions and topics to get. And certainly, if you're any kind of tarot reader or psychic, you will get a lot of love questions. And so I'm always happy to help people navigate their love life, because that is always a interesting but challenging aspect of human existence, I think. So, Pretty in Pink, it asks, is my boyfriend planning something nice for me / us? If so, what does he have planned for me? Okay. Well, I should certainly hope so, but let's see. Let us see what Spirit says. Well, thank you, Helen. We absolutely love you too. You know, in our household, love is unconditional. So don't ever be shy about expressing it. Okay, what is going on? What is your boyfriend planning? Pretty in Pink. Okay, so 8 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, and 8 of Wands. Ah, how lovely. So here's what Spirit is telling me, Pretty in Pink. So your boyfriend is definitely planning something very nice for the both of you. Two of Cups here clearly states that. So your boyfriend is not just planning something nice just for himself, and to disappoint you or anything like that. And I'm guessing this question comes from a place of maybe you have a birthday or anniversary or just some chunk of time to spend together, some vacation or something like that. Which is probably why you're wondering about this, but even if not, he's definitely planning something, and this is something that has involved some hard work on his part, some planning, and also some expenditure, of some coin. Eight of coins here, or pentacles, is definitely about that. But he is doing the hard work necessary to provide that, and whatever it is, it's going to be a really fun and exciting thing, I think. But it will definitely be an activity. The two of you, well, I guess it's going to be an activity. So this probably won't just be just a gift. Like, here's a thing. Here's a ring or something. Although there may be some gifts involved, but it's definitely something that you're both going to enjoy and cherish together. Something you can both sort of enjoy. So that's why I lean more towards like an activity or trip or something like that. And there's going to be some components of this that also that are there'll be some waiting as well. So I think, there's going to be this initial, occasion, this gift, this activity, these things together, which will be wonderful and beautiful. But it's also going to be like a promise, like, oh, I also did this for us or you. But it won't arrive. Either this thing won't arrive or this thing won't happen till a little bit farther in the future. So it's kind of like a double whammy. And I say that because here of the Eight of Wands. And that's always like, the Eight of Wands are like, it's an action that's been sort of performed in the past, but the results of it haven't shown up yet. So he's done or planned a thing, but the thing isn't really going to happen, or the gift isn't going to arrive or be given to you or in your possession for a little while farther in the future, which also suggests that it's probably something that's kind of a big deal. So I think that's a great thing to look forward to. It seems like you will not be disappointed by this, whatever it is exactly. It would be hard to say for certain with just a few cards in a simple reading, but it is something we could always go more in depth in an in-depth personal reading. And I do have links in the video description if you'd ever want to book a reading with me one-on-one. So I hope that finds you well. And thank you so much for your question tonight, Pretty in Pink. And we will crack right along. Up next is Britt. Britt asks, we have an event that happened on our property that we are considering pursuing legal action over. We're grateful for any insight. Okay. So before I proceed, this is kind of a legal thing. So I just want to be clear that I am not an attorney or legal expert in any way, and that these readings are not to be considered professional advice, but merely for your entertainment. So, that being said, what does Spirit have to say about this event? Okay. Well, here we have a fly out kind of card. So I think this is going to be one of your cards here, the Page of Cups. Kind of interesting. Seven of Coins and King of Cups. Wow. I get the sense that this other party, before this actually ends up in court, and that's not to say that it will absolutely end up in court or that you should necessarily take legal action. Again, you have to Certainly, you may want to get actual legal counsel involved in this, but I think the other party is going to offer some kind of peace offering. And maybe once sort of threatened with legal action, they might come forward with this, or maybe before then. If you feel like you're able to, and again, without knowing more about the situation, you may even consider reaching out to them or trying to have a conversation with them about it, if you haven't already. And if you have and it's gotten nowhere, then, well, that's where you're at. But I do sense at some point in this process, in all of this resolution, that they're going to make an offering of peace. So we have the Page of Cups here. It's kind of a youthful energy, but they are holding out this cup with the fish in it. And the fish is a classic symbol of peace. So there will be an offering, but it might not be satisfactory to you, at least on the surface at first. It might be kind of a juvenile offer, a juvenile attempt to rectify the situation. But I do believe it'll be made in good faith, even if it's insufficient to you in terms of resolving, in terms of restitution here. And ultimately, you are probably going to have to involve some work, and some time is going to pass here. So it may be necessary to at least look into or consider, you are considering legal action, but to really take the steps to find out what's involved with that, and consult with an expert, an attorney of some kind that's relevant to your situation. There's some seeds that you have to plant here to make this come to fruition. And ultimately, I can't say, again, whether this will go to court or not. I do sense that you will get justice in this. And I'm feeling like the sense I get is that probably they're going to offer this thing. It will be insufficient. You'll kind of say, no, that's not, that doesn't cover damages or whatever it is that's going on here. That's not enough. That doesn't actually make good on this. And then there's going to be some pursuit of a legal option. But then they may come around and settle. That's the strong sense I get from Spirit. And so it may never actually get to an actual court judgment, but it may get to the point of like the threat of legal action. And that might be enough to make this person kind of come forward, and actually make good in resolving this for you and making right with this. So that's the sense that I get. But again, like I said, this is not professional or legal advice. So you will come out sort of victorious, certainly, in this. So also very good news for you, Britt. And Natasha, you're up next. It must be about 10:20 there, almost 10:30 where you are. That's late for me too. So by the time we finish tonight, it'll be 10:30 here, and I will be crawling into bed. So. Okay, Natasha is asking, you want to know about a general reading. A little tongue-tied tonight, forgive me. What is planned in the near future? Okay. All right, Natasha, let's get you your reading. I don't want to keep you up too late. Yeah. All need our rest. Ooh, 10 of coins. 6 of coins. And the lovers. Well, we have just a lot of really positive things tonight, which is great. I think, especially, again, if we follow this group, sort of our group guidance a bit, and again, give ourselves some time to rest and some self-care and compassion as well. And I think that's going to help you out a lot, Natasha. I know you've definitely had some struggles as of late, as we've kind of discussed a bit outside of this chat, outside of our lives. But a lot of great abundance and prosperity and good things are coming your way here. So near future looks like an outpouring of resources and support from your community. 10 of coins, a really beautiful card. Again, really not just about money, but about all the things that your community, the people who are closest to you can provide for you in terms of just support in all kinds of forms. And so, I know it's tricky when we get into tough spaces, and I'm the same way. We can have a tendency to turtle. And it is okay to take a step back from, interacting with people. My social battery gets quite low pretty quickly, and I sense that yours does too. And so I totally understand, but don't completely go into your cave for too long. Give yourself that space that you need, certainly. Allow your social battery, your energy to recharge. But then certainly go back to the people in your life who do nourish and support you. And don't get too distant from them, because they have a lot that they want to offer and help you with. 6 of coins also goes along with that. So this is another card of charity. A card of sort of charity, sort of an exchange of charity. So charity coming towards you, again, from your community, Natasha. But then also you growing stronger and more abundant and being able to give and help others. And being in a place where you can do that without giving too much of yourself and wearing yourself out. Because we, as caring human beings, we do have a tendency to do that as well. We just give and give and give. And maybe we forget once in a while to take time for ourselves. You can't help other people if you're all burned out and exhausted and, that kind of thing. So take the rest and time that you need. Know that the resources that you need are there. Embrace that. And sort of a big step forward, this is an evolution, a real change in your being in the major arcana of the Lovers. And so I think you're going to feel a lot of love. I don't get the sense that this is like a romance entering your life, but it's actually something a lot greater. All of this abundance and prosperity coming your way is really going to help you feel a greater love, a greater sense of love from those people who are helping and supporting you, the people who care about you, but also a greater sense of your own self-love. And I know that's a very kind of cliche thing, sort of a cliche thing in our world of tarot and spirituality and new age and all that. You got to love yourself, but you really do. And, we can throw that away as a cliche, but when we really get right with that, it's powerful. And a lot of that is loving all the parts of you, even the things that you don't think are necessarily good traits or qualities about yourself. The more you love those things, the more you will transform them into good and healthy and useful things, even if at times in the past they have not been the most healthy or useful things in your life. So try to just take it easy. Try not to get too distant and isolated from people. But don't push yourself too hard. Find that sweet spot. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace, because you're doing really well, Natasha. So I just want you to know that, not just from Spirit, but from Candy and I as well. And yeah, that's what's coming up for you. So thanks for showing up tonight. And just in case anyone is wondering, again, we have quite a few regulars. Natasha is one of my most prolific tarot students. So I do teach people just like you to read tarot for yourself and others. And I teach it in a very fun and easy and intuitive method that doesn't require a whole lot of memorization. And so in about 3 hours time through Zoom, you can learn to read tarot just like Natasha has. And also Panya as well has been a student here in our class. And I am running those every week. It's just a few hours on Zoom, hands-on, with myself and a group of other people like you. So if you're interested in that, we have links going out in the chat and in the description. Click that and check it out. It's a lot of fun. I really encourage you to think about or consider doing it. If you get a lot out of these readings, then reading for yourself is even more powerful and useful. And you don't have to wait till Thursday night for me. So thanks again, Natasha, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Yep. Yeah, we all definitely need rest, especially in the summer when it's 105 degrees. Okay, moving on. Burger Heather. Burger Heather asks about financial struggles. Will they be resolved? Will we overcome this problem and secure our home from those who are trying to disrupt it? Ooh. Well, some very serious stuff. Let's see. Let's see. What's going on with your financial struggles? Hopefully we can find you some insight to help navigate your way through this challenge in your life. Financial ones are always some of the scariest. Not always, but often, I should say. Okay, Heather. King of Swords. The Nine of Swords. So there's definitely conflict here, certainly. So there will definitely be, Heather, some further sort of big sort of ups and downs before this sees itself through, before this is resolved. That's what Nine of Swords is telling me. This is one of those cards of like worry and sleepless nights. I know that's not the nicest thing to hear, but you are going to go through a few more sort of battles in this conflict. At the end of the day, though, it is going to come out. Things will come out in your favor, because you are on the side of truth and goodness, and your true self, your divine self, was put here to work through this challenge, and you will come out the other side of this being a happier, more present being, more authentic, and showing up in a brighter and more beautiful way in your life every day in the world for yourself and the people around you. And that's the final outcome of this. Now, the real advice here to see your way through this, to get through this challenge, is to be very firm and very clear in your boundaries. King of Swords here is, the swords is a suit of conflict. It's the suit of communication and thought and intellect, and influence. And so the king is a master of this, and the king is that masculine energy. So the king is not coy. The king is very purposeful with what he says, with the boundaries he sets. So you need to be direct and honest and very blunt in this, and do not back down. You will see your way through it, but there will be a period of time, and you will still have some nights where you worry. But have faith. And when you are up at night and you are worrying about this, when you're still having doubts about it turning out in your favor, really look inward. Really think about all of the good parts of you. Really sit with, who you are, the truest parts of yourself, the parts of you that maybe you haven't even fully expressed or shown to the world yet. That's what needs to come through. Your authentic self, your soul, needs to shine through who you are in the flesh. And that will influence the situation in your favor. Okay? So you have all of our thoughts and prayers in this, Heather. And I hope that gives you some way to navigate through this as you move forward. Okay. Thank you for your question tonight. We are just cracking along here. So next, so in the queue, we're down to just 2 people so far in the queue, but we always kind of catch a second wind. Yes, Heather, there is. So yes, there's definitely positive outcomes coming, and okay. So I'm gonna try to pronounce your name, and I might get close because, well, it sounds very Eastern European to me, and I am half of me is of Polish heritage and descendants, so sometimes I get these right. Um, Violeta, yes, Violeta, Violeta Wersinska. I'm probably kind of close, but if I were in your country or the country of origin of your name, they'd probably laugh at me. But hopefully, I didn't butcher it too bad. So, Willetta asks, "I'm Taurus. He's Libra. Are we going to get back together, or has he moved on with another person? He's gone silent for 6 weeks. Will he break the silence? Thank you, and God bless." Well, thank you for the question. Let's see what we can find out. Violet. Oh, so more the V. Yeah. I forget. My V's and W's are interchangeable. Of course. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for not being offended by. I get, as you can tell, I get very embarrassed when I screw up names. So, thank you for your understanding, Violet. But okay, so what's going on with your Libra partner or former partner? Well, let's see. We'll find out. Okay. Oh, here's that abundance of the ten of coins, which is always kind of an interesting one in like a love reading. So here's what I sense, Violet. Here's what Spirit tells me. The ten of coins here is a little bit of an odd card, honestly, and it kind of just makes me wonder what to do with it here. But I think it speaks to this relationship was a pretty solid relationship, um, in some ways. There's something, there's a solidity with the coins. They're the element of earth. Um, but Page of Cups here, this tells me that I sense that he certainly, um, he became attracted to someone else. I don't sense that he has like that he was cheating on you. Like he became attracted to this person, um, while you were together. So he was at least honest and faithful in that sense. Because I want to be really kind of clear about this because there's a lot of subtlety to these to romance relationships and these types of readings. And I think the amount that usually means something. I don't know that he was seeing someone else before he kind of cut ties with you or stopped contacting you. I don't even sense that he even started seeing this person as of today. Page of Cups is this like youthful energy. It is like a new thing, so he's got this childlike crush, infatuation. His eyes are being pulled elsewhere to this other person. But there's a certain immaturity that comes to play. And yet he is a fairly honest and faithful person. So I think he's just trapped in a lot of indecision. And this is why he's been out of touch, where he can't decide if he wants to pursue this person or be with you. But I think he's generally a good person. And so what he doesn't want to do is to like lie about this, see this person and stay with you or that kind of thing. I think he just can't decide whether he just should get in touch with you and end it, or, come back to you. Now, that doesn't give you a ton of clarity about your question because you're really wondering, like, will he break silence? Let's pull one more card. Okay. So I sense that he will break silence fairly soon. Five of Wands is interesting. So he's in this phase where not only is he, again, really like conflicted about what to do, I sense that he's also like trying to get advice from friends and family and people he knows. He's getting a lot, and this is not actually helping him. He's getting a lot of different opinions from everyone, and maybe he's a bit wrapped up in other people kind of telling him what he should do. But I do sense that eventually he will reach back out. It may not even be that long. And he will at least explain to you what's going on. I don't get a strong sense of whether that's going to be let's get back together or whether it's this is over. But what I do sense is that from your perspective, it would be best for you to pull back from this. So even if he comes back to you and says, I'm sorry, I want to get back together, I think maybe it would be good for you to give yourself some space and distance. And even if you do get back together with him, again, try to create some space in the relationship. That might be part of what led up to this disagreement. The Hanged Man here is one of these cards. It is one of these cards of sort of solitude. The Hanged Man isn't hanging out with anyone else here. And it's uncomfortable. I mean, he's hanging from his foot. You can't imagine that this is fun. But it's not harming him. It's not killing him. And when we look at the card, we see this halo of light around his head. And what this says is that if you allow yourself this discomfort, you allow yourself to be on your own for a little bit of time to yourself in isolation. And I don't mean just go and get together with someone else, but like really give yourself a little time with yourself. You can spend time with friends and family and stuff, but I wouldn't go pursuing another relationship right away. Give yourself that space. It'll feel a bit lonely and uncomfortable, but if you work your way through that, I think you're going to discover some really important things about yourself and what you need and want out of a relationship. And so there's this sense of greater enlightenment that will come to you through a little bit of discomfort. So I do sense that you should give this some space and time. But I do think he'll reach out to you and at least explain to you what's been going on. But you may not want to get back together with him right away. I think that's really what Spirit is urging you to do. So thank you, Violet, and thank you for joining the channel. It's your first time here. I hope to see you back in the future. And obviously, you're welcome to hang out and check out everyone else's readings too. That's half the fun of it. But thanks again for that. I hope it all sort of works out in a good way for both of you. So where are we time-wise? Okay, so I have Culture Envy. I have Panya is up after Culture Envy. Then I have the reading for Panya's husband, Jeff. And then Melina. We'll get to you. A lot of relationship questions. Also makes a lot of sense this time of year. Summertime, right? So one time of like summer love, especially if you're someone who's single or if you're just young and not really attached to somebody. But also summertime and the heat and all that can also sort of amplify friction or problems in a relationship as well. And that can be a challenge. Good news is we only have about a month left, so. All right, Culture Envy, here is your general reading for tonight. Oh, the Hermit. Talking about solitude and enlightenment. The Hermit. 7 of Cups. Okay. So, Culture Envy, Spirit tells me that you have gone through, you're just coming through very recent past, a stage of growth here. The Hermit is, again, this card of like isolation. It's a card of you becoming a little more detached from your everyday experiences. Not like in a dissociative way of like you're just checked out, but the ability to sort of observe not just what's going on around you, but how you are reacting to it, the things that you are thinking and feeling as you go through daily life. And with that observation, that is a step forward, a leap forward in your own wisdom and enlightenment. So you're just starting to come through that. And even if it doesn't feel like that, or feels, if I'm saying this and you're like, I don't know what I don't feel enlightened at all. It's there. But perhaps maybe the actual effects of it haven't really shown themselves to you yet. These things can be subtle sometimes, but it has happened and it is happening. So you're stepping through that. And with that period of, they can go hand in hand. So, yeah. And I feel you. I've gone through definitely periods of my life where I have just been kind of checked out. But there is an actual wisdom and enlightenment to this. So you're coming through that period, and now you're getting to a place where I think very soon you're going to have an experience or a thought where you're like, man, I need to get back in the game. I've kind of come to a place of understanding about something. But I'm not just meant to sit here with my head in the clouds, forever. I'm meant to do things. You're going to have an inspiration. And it's going to be one of these vague inspirations. So it isn't going to be like, oh, I know exactly what to do. I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to go build this project or start this club or whatever. It's going to be like, I just feel a pull. I need to actually do something with myself, something meaningful. I don't know what. And so you're going to go into this phase here of the 7 of Cups. There's going to be a lot of like exploration and wondering, like, is it this? Is it that? A whole bunch of ideas will probably come to you all at once. And then you're going to have a little bit of like confusion about what to do. You're going to feel very pulled in some different directions. And it's going to feel like that enlightenment is kind of lost for a bit. But as that starts happening, as you notice this, again, pull back and observe. Sometimes it's time to learn your zip code. That's very true. And pull back a bit and really, again, take time to observe your thoughts and feelings about these things. And as you do so, you will get the inspiration. You'll figure out exactly what you should do. And then once you get to that place, it'll click. And then the time is to really start doing. And it might feel like a big task, but know this. Spirit is telling you, you have the skills, the capability, the knowledge, the strength to do this thing. It may seem like a big thing, but it is in your highest interest, in your divine purpose to do so. And you are very capable of carrying this burden. And it won't even feel like a burden once you start, because you're doing something really awesome and meaningful and powerful in your life. So that's what's heading down the road for you, Culture Envy. I hope that makes some sense. And please let me know whether it does or doesn't. And I'll be really interested to see how that pans out for you. So, yeah, the 7 of Cups, Panya, is like this. It is like this miasma, this like, conflicted feelings, sort of like an embarrassment of choices in your life. and not knowing which ones to choose. And it is a very trippy card. So Violet, you can certainly ask another question. We will sort of put it at the end of the queue. So if anyone else new comes in before we get sort of through the rest of the current queue, they'll get put ahead of you. But if you want to get a second question in, we will add it at the end. And assuming that we have time, I'll be happy to pull some more cards for you. If we get a big rush and a whole bunch of new people come in, we may not get to it. I like to give everyone a chance to at least get their one reading. But if we have time in our, hour or so that we have left, we'll certainly be happy to do so. All right. And now we have Panya's reading, general reading. I think for you, Panya, because we're going to pull out, I did pull some other decks out today. The B Tarot is here. We love that one. I pulled out the Phantasma deck. It's been a little while. And this is just such an adorable deck. I don't read it a ton, but I've read it. I've pulled these cards for you, Panya, and we got some really nice readings out of it. So very fanciful, sort of fairy, fae-themed deck. Cards are very stiff because I just don't use this one that often. Whew. I got to use these more, try to break them in. Okay, Panya, we have the Page of Cups. It's just such a whimsical sort of deck. I just love it. And it's just, we get sort of these very different kind of readings. And it's funny you talk about sort of, it is very trippy. You talk about the shroom trip, especially here in the Eight of Cups. We have some shrooms growing on this, like, it's like a limb or bow, but it's kind of just floating magically through the air. Again, very fanciful. Or maybe it's meant to be more like a magic carpet. I can't really tell, but it doesn't matter either. So, okay, Panya. So I definitely sense, and these are all kind of broader things. They're not super specific, but Page of Cups, and we've seen the Page of Cups quite a bit today. It is that sort of joyful, youthful energy. And I know you've had some pretty serious things going on, but I sense that this is starting to come back for you a bit. You're starting to find this in some different parts of your life. It might be more subtle. It may not be as apparent. But yeah, there's so many little details in them. Maybe even a sense of like someone is going to bring you something that brings some extra joy and, innocence into your life. And Eight of Cups here says that, very soon you're going to enter into, like, I think you're meant to sort of take that joy and direct it a bit, that youthful energy into something that you really, a useful endeavor, so that it can kind of multiply and flourish. And this will go very easily for you. So this isn't going to be something that is this arduous task. It's going to involve some effort and some action on your part, but it's going to be a very flowing action. It's going to be a very joyful thing. There's going to be some elements of whimsy in here. So maybe bringing a little bit of that whimsy out of your subconscious and just out of your feelings and into activities and more into the real world. Um, yeah, there's just a big pull for that for you. And in doing so, you're also going to let go of some maybe more burdensome feelings, some things that might be holding you back a bit. Some kind of old sort of negative feelings or experiences that you're going to fully let go of in this as this sort of return to childhood kind of thing starts to permeate your life more. And I even see this flourishing into something of some actual, so not just like bringing it into an activity, but whatever you bring it into, whatever you pull this energy into in your daily life, it's going to flourish into something of some real abundance and value. Something that you enjoy, but it may also provide some actual material gain for you as well as you go forward with it. So, a real joyful bit of time here. The next couple weeks, really going into the summer, is coming for you, Panya. And I think that's really, really nice reading. Really, really fun reading. So, thanks for that. And we will get right on to Jeff's reading. And so we'll stick with the Phantasma Tarot for Jeff as well. Now it's interesting to use this for something more concrete, like your question, which is Panya's husband's question, Jeff's question, is a follow up to last week's reading, and the question is which place to accept the government job, Fort Campbell, Fort Bliss, or Korea. He's been to all those areas, and the pay would be roughly the same. Well, I'm glad I was. Seems like my reading was pretty accurate then. If he's got a choice of places to go for this government job. So let's see what Phantasma Tarot has to say about this. So this will be interesting. So I think we'll do I think we'll pull one card for each choice and then kind of see which one seems to be the front runner. That's usually the best way to do these kind of things because there's no way I could just look at a card and be like, oh, that looks like Fort Campbell. I don't really know these places. I mean, I know a little bit about Korea and I've heard of these other places, but so for Fort Campbell, we have the Fool. Interesting. Fort Bliss is the Ten of Wands. And then for Korea, the Queen of Swords. Okay. So, Fort Campbell, we have the Fool. I'm going to take this pretty literally in that, I mean, not so literally to say like he'd be a fool for going there, but I think being at Fort Campbell for some reason, and I mean, I assume these jobs, the function of these jobs are probably the same in all these places or very similar. But I think Fort Campbell might be like, it might feel like starting over for him for whatever reason. I can't say exactly what's going to happen there, but it might feel like he's gotten sort of set like a setback. So I don't know that I think we can rule out Fort Campbell. Fort Bliss is the Ten of Wands. Now the Ten of Wands is like a strong, powerful career card. It's the completion of career. So this is, a place where he will be very effective at what he's doing. Yeah, heavy wheel mechanic. I'm assuming Yeah, and I'm gonna assume probably like military or military adjacent, uh, heavy machinery, but it might be private as well. Like I said, military adjacent. So Fort Bliss is the Ten of Wands. Now that's a very powerful. Like, okay, this is like the culmination of his career. So this is going to be like a powerful place for him to be. Um, it is a great name, and I think he's going to feel best here. And then just to cover, Queen of Swords, you know, the swords are a suit of conflict. So Korea, I think, might be not a great place to go. I'm not predicting like a military conflict in Korea right now or anything like that. So please don't get too too panicked. But I think for him, it's just going to bring up some conflicts. A lot of that I think is going to be the distance. I assume none of these places are super close, but Korea is probably a lot farther away from you than Fort Campbell or Fort Bliss. So to wrap that all up in a nice package, Spirit tells me Fort Bliss is the best place to go. He's going to be the happiest there. It's probably going to be the easiest for him. And yeah. and that's going to be the place. Now, in terms of geography, because I don't know exactly, I wonder, is Fort Bliss the closest to you? So personally, and this is my own personal feeling, I would like to see him stationed, wherever is closest to you, so that you're just not so far apart. And that's for all of your benefit. But regardless of the geography, Fort Bliss really is, I think, is going to be the move. So, and again, none of this is set in stone. So obviously, always have Jeff follow his intuition, follow his heart. But I think that's really going to be the right place for him. So thank you so much, Panya, for your questions tonight. Okay, next up we have Melina, and then we have Violet's second question. So you're in Maryland. Great steaks. Well, we are virtual carnivores here in our household, so you can't go wrong with a great steak. All right, Melina asks, Melina would like to know, what direction is my marriage going? Will my husband ever respect me in our marriage? Okay. And I think, Melina, we're going to change it up a little bit. I think for this question, we're going to get a more useful answer out of the traditional deck. I take everyone's questions seriously, but to me, this one feels kind of heavy. And so I really want to give you the best, most honest, message from Spirit. Give you the most insight to help you navigate what's going on, because this all, this sounds tough. So my heart is with you in this. All right, Melina. So what direction is your marriage going? Will he ever respect you and your marriage? Okay. Okay, Melina. So I do see Spirit says that there is actually a great potential here for your marriage to improve, and for things to get better. And I assume things are kind of rocky if you're asking me whether he will respect you or respect your marriage. So clearly there's some things coming into play here in the relationship um, where you are not feeling respected. And without really knowing a lot of great detail about that, I get the sense the Knight of Swords here is this very fast moving, very powerful energy. And this suggests to me that, your relationship and this marriage, and really the beginnings of your relationship, some of these things, some of it developed kind of quickly. And maybe not necessarily that like you met the first day and a week later you were married, but there were phases of this relationship in the past and leading up to now that kind of moved a bit faster. It really felt like this galloping horse. And it was very exciting. And you certainly were in love, but also like you felt kind of pulled, like maybe you weren't fully in control. The horse is getting away a bit. And I think both of you experienced this in your own way. And that's the genesis of, that characterizes a lot of what's going on in the tensions now, is where sort of the core of what that is. And a lot of this depicts your journey. Really, a lot of this is your husband's journey. I sense that there is probably some healing and some conflicts that he needs to resolve, internal conflicts. They might be related to people in the past, but there's a piece of healing that he needs to get through to get your relationship moving in the right direction again, so that you get to a place where he is showing respect. Because I do sense that deep down inside, he does have not just a respect, but there's like this sensitive, wounded child in him that if it could come out, if he could allow it out, you would be very touched. You'd be like, oh, wow, he really does respect me. He really does respect this marriage. But he's not able to express it. It's very blocked up. And this happens to a lot of people, lots of human beings. For many of us, for us men especially, though, it's very hard. There's so much of our conditioning by society, parents, and all that just really, leads us to not being in touch with our feelings and not expressing them. But there is that childlike joy and innocence, and his feelings towards you are there. But there's a very tough armor and shell that he has to take off. He has to take off this heavy armor. And if you can stick through it with him through this, I sense that you have a very, this relationship has the potential to be very strong and very healthy. But it's going to take him getting through some healing. And that's tough. Now, again, you mentioned respect. So I want to say this just to be clear. I mean, if this is more than just disrespect, but, if this is really like something abusive, certainly like, I urge you to remove yourself from that situation. You should never tolerate or put up with an abusive situation, something that's truly toxic. So if that's what's going on, you definitely need to pull back from it. But, if this isn't quite such a severe thing, but there's a lot of tension there, I think you can continue to be involved in the situation with him. Either way, he's got this healing that he needs to do. Okay, so yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, some porn and that kind of thing. Okay. And that's certainly, I don't want to take anything away from that either. It is certainly, you are certainly allowed to and deserve to have that boundary in your marriage. If you feel like him looking at porn and that sort of thing, is disrespectful to you, you certainly, it's a perfectly valid thing. So I don't want to invalidate your feelings at all. But a lot of that sort of porn addiction thing, and again, this goes back to, a lot of the struggle of manhood in modern society, is like a disconnection from a disconnection from your own feelings, the inability to allow yourself to feel your feelings and express those feelings. And all of the feelings, that's the thing. We try to be selective and be like, oh, well, I don't want to feel bad, right? So if I feel angry or I'm sad, I just push that aside. I repress that because I want to feel good. And what happens is when you repress any of your emotions, you repress all of them. And so the more the more you avoid feeling sadness or anger or whatever that, those negative things, the less you're going to be able to feel joy and happiness in your life. So yeah, but there's definitely some childhood stuff there that he has to kind of work through, and you can certainly help him through that. It's not 100% your responsibility to heal him or cure him. But as his wife, you do have a role in supporting that. And that's something that, we could certainly explore further, in a more expanded reading, if you'd like, at some point. And through conversation as well. There's some, usually, again, these things there's some emotional pain there, and I think it's probably making it hard for him to sort of want to be intimate. There's a vulnerability that comes with any kind of intimacy with you, with another human being, a real human being, and not some pornography on a computer screen. So he's pulling away from that, and then he's not feeling satisfied. So he's looking to this artificial thing, to satisfy a legitimate need for intimacy that really goes usually beyond sex for most of us, even for men. So that's really what's going on. But you guys have the potential to move through this. So I do see a lot of hope for this for you, and I hope that gives you some hope and inspiration to move forward. So. Thanks, Melina, for showing up, and thanks for your question. And certainly keep us up to date so we know how things are going. Welcome in, Rachel Hogan's Art. It's great to see you here again tonight. I know you're often live too around on Thursday, so I'm glad you're able to make it in. At this juncture, well, let's get Violet's second reading. Oh, the second card, let me find it. I want to say the Six of Cups. It's the one with the children. It's cups. Hang on, I'll find it. 30 years of reading tarot, and I can't remember exactly what. Like, I know the picture, but I can't tell you. Pretty sure it's the Six of Cups. So I shuffled everything. Melina. Okay. Where is the Six of Cups? Here it is. Yeah, it's the Six of Cups. Here we go. That was your second card, Melina. Okay. So we are going to go on break. I'm going to do Violet's reading first. Then we're going to take our 5. And that may give us some time to get a few more folks in and do a few more readings. And if not, when we come back, we'll just chat for a few minutes and maybe we'll sign off a little early. But since Violet is really the last person in the queue, we're going to do it. What the heck? I'm feeling strong. We'll just do Violet. Rachel, we'll do your reading. And then we'll go to break. I feel pretty good tonight, despite the lack of sleep. I'm a bit wired. Okay, Rachel. Yep, we'll get to you. I'm going to do Violet's other reading here, second reading. Okay, so Violet asks, will I get financial aid tomorrow? Okay. And then we'll find out about, welcome in, Melons Maloney. Sure thing, Melons. You will be third in the list. Okay, Violet, what's going on with your financial aid? Well, 7 of coins is good news. The devil. Okay, well, I know the devil's card has shown up, but don't get too panicked about that. So, Violet, I do see there's a strong sense of I get a strong sense of yes, you will get the financial aid that you're seeking tomorrow. But there's going to be a bit of you're going to have some emotional ups and downs as you're waiting to get the news to find out. I know there's pretty firm deadlines with these things, but I don't know, something's going to come up that's going to make you really doubt it before you find out the news. There's going to be a lot of anticipation and worry. And so that's what the devil is about here is like, don't give into that. Like, honestly, like, don't keep checking. I don't know if you're going to find out by mail or get a phone call or exactly, how it's going to work. But for you, in terms of the actual communication of this acceptance or this award of financial aid, it's been a while since I've done it, but don't get too obsessive over it. Like, try to relax tomorrow. Try to relax tonight. Try not to think about it. I know it's easier said than done. Try to distract yourself a bit. Just do some things you enjoy doing. It will come. But you're going to have, if you get too obsessed over it and, waiting to find out, you're going to make yourself a little crazy. So that's the only real, hiccup here is just don't get too wrapped up in it. Like, when you get off this stream tonight, again, just go do something you like to do, watch some TV you like, or whatever it is you like to do to relax and take your mind off things. And really don't think about it. Just let the time pass. And then that news will come to you. But I am sensing, Violet, that you will get this financial aid. So I'm very happy for you. And it's going to feel really good when it does happen. Again, here's that page of cups, like all night, showing up over and over. Okay. So I think what we'll do, because we got some more people coming in, welcome in Country Love Homestead and JV1234 and Melons. So Rachel, if you don't mind, I am going to go to break now. We will get to you right after I come back in about 5 minutes, and that'll give us a chance to queue up a few more readings and get those in here. So, and if you can't wait around Rachel or anyone else, this will be posted on the channel for replay, so you can get it that way. But thank you all, and I will be back in about 5 minutes. You can keep putting your requests into the chat during the break. So. All right, everybody, we're back from break. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, everyone, for coming in too. We got a bunch of regulars kind of here late. So here's the cue, and this is it. We are full up for the evening. So Rachel Hogan, you're up next, followed by Melons Maloney, Country Homestead, Magic Dust, Speak Knowledge, and then JV 1234. And you'll be the last reading, and of course, how appropriate, JV, we're going to end with your reading, a love reading for the night. So thank you, everyone, for showing up, hanging out. It's always a joy to be here with all of you on Thursday. And I will throw this out there. If you enjoy these tarot readings, I cannot recommend enough that you learn to read tarot for yourself. It is such a powerful practice. You know, I learned to read tarot as a young man, as a teenager. And then through most of my adult life, I got away from doing it. And then about 5 years ago, I hit some very serious anxiety and depression in my life. And I came back to reading tarot for myself. And it really helped me to navigate my way through healing and out of some very serious difficulties in my life at the time. And so now I teach other people how to read tarot, and you can learn. It just takes a few hours with a few of us on Zoom. It's a lot of fun. And you can be reading tarot just as well as I do very quickly. So I'm going to pin the link for that if you're interested. You can sign up. I've got classes going off every week. So check that out for yourself. I'd love to teach you. It's such a powerful practice. So thanks for listening to my plug. Rachel asks about her financial future as an artist. Rachel, you own some tarot decks. Cool. Well, reach out if you'd ever like to take the class, even if you have some experience, Rachel, reading. I think you might really like my take on things. And, you know, you get replays as well. So always excited to teach and help others. And if you have decks and you don't really use them, then certainly consider learning to read. Yeah, it is $18 US for a 3-hour hands-on class. I mean, you can't beat the value. And I will be offering some intermediate and advanced classes in the future as well. But you do have to take the beginner class first. So, okay, Rachel, what's going on with your financial future as an artist? Well, we've got the Ace of Wands. That's really powerful. The Hermit. Well, this is really interesting. We saw the Hermit a lot. You know, the Hermit has his own wand here too. And Knight of Cups. Well, this is cool. So first and foremost, there's a new opportunity, like the beginning of a new opportunity for you in terms of your art and you being an artist as a professional is there. And the seed for this was actually planted sometime in the past. It's probably something that you weren't even aware of as being like the beginning of this opportunity. But it's there, and it's waiting to come into your reality to manifest. Your task, and the most important thing that you have to do, is to just keep a clear mind and a clear vision so that as this opportunity shows up in your reality, you are ready for it so that you don't miss it, because it's a subtle one. It's not just going to be this super obvious thing where some company or business out of the blue is like, hey, you know, we want to license this or something like that. This is going to be a thing that develops. And it's going to take, you know, there's going to be like this subtle doorway to it. You know, you're going to feel inspired to, like, I don't know, talk to a friend or something that doesn't seem directly related to your art business, but that's the thing that's going to set off this chain of events that brings this new opportunity to you and into your reality. So just keep a clear mind, keep a clear vision, you know, take time to stay grounded. Again, there's that hermit, sort of a more detached view of things, sort of observing everything. And that way you won't miss this. And then when you trigger this event, it will show up and it'll be in a big way. And I sense that there's going to be some partnership in this. So this new opportunity, this new financial opportunity for you as an artist is definitely going to involve some other person. That's the Knight of Cups. And, there's going to be a subtle chain of events that lead to a very abrupt and obvious thing at the end of it all in the future. Oh, yeah, we should do this. We should collaborate. So be on the lookout for that, but don't try to force it. Don't start like tracking everyone down. Hey, let's do this. Let's collab. Like, it will come to you, and it'll come pretty soon. And it's going to bring you a lot of not just some really good financial abundance, but some real joy into your life. Might breathe a little bit more joy into the art that you're creating, because we can all have that kind of creative, burnout at times. So really good things for you, Rachel. Really good stuff. So keep us up to date and let us know how that pans out. And thanks for showing up tonight. Okay, moving on. We've got Melons Maloney, and Melons wants a general reading. Thank you, Rachel. I always like to hear feedback. Even if I'm wrong, please tell me. Okay, Melons Maloney. What's going on? What does Spirit have to tell you for the next stretch of time here? Well, there's a lot of just beautiful joy here right there. The Ten of Cups. The Tower, a less joyful looking card, and the Ace of Cups. Well, very interesting. Okay, Melon. So there's gonna be a bit of a challenge for you here. And there's the Octopi. I'll show it to everyone before we sign off tonight. I want to. I love it. So sorry, Melons. I get distracted sometimes. So there has been this some very joyful things in your life. This Ten of Cups is more like kind of some past stuff. So there is some joyful friendships, some joyful family relationships that you've enjoyed, and they've been good and stable. But those are going to change a bit. So there's going to be, this is the challenge. There's going to be, something's going to change in one of these previously stable friendships or family relationships. It doesn't mean it's going to be like all out like anger and conflict, but it's going to change. And in some way it's going to break down and not be the same. And that's going to be hard. It's not going to feel joyful and wonderful. But you have to allow that to happen. Change is inevitable. So just prepare for it. Allow it to be. Don't fight it. Because on the other side of that, some new greater relationship will emerge as well. A new friendship. Maybe this friendship or family relationship does change and it gets difficult for a while, but then it becomes a better relationship than it was in the past. But something new and wonderful will come out of this. There is going to be a time of upheaval with that. So you can be on the lookout for that. And again, like the more you can just accept it and not fight with it and allow things to be, the easier it will go and the better things will be on the other side of it. So that's what I got for you, Melons. I hope that helps. I know it's not the most fun news to hear, but I feel like, when we're prepared, when we have some idea of what's coming at us, we can deal with it and we can turn it into something positive. So for me, that's what reading tarot is really all about. So, okay, Country Homestead also has a general reading tonight. Okay. All right, Country Homestead. Those are going to be your cards right there. All right, Country Homestead, let's see. Ooh, three of swords. Strength. There's strength. That was in the group reading at the beginning of the night. And the 4 of coins. Okay, or 4 of pentacles. Okay, Country Homestead. So there is some heartbreak and some sadness in your past. And it might not be apparent right this moment. Like this might be something that you felt like you moved past already because it's pretty far in the past. Or you're just moving out of it. But either way, it's not fully resolved. You're still carrying something there. They're still carrying some pain. I think maybe you've convinced yourself that you are over it, but you aren't fully over it. And so that's going to show up in your life pretty soon, some way, somehow, some kind of challenge. And here, what you need to practice is strength. And this is not strength like resisting these feelings or pushing them away. This is that strength of compassion. This is the self-love that we were talking about at the beginning of the night. And for you, this looks like allowing yourself to revisit these feelings. Allow yourself to feel that sadness, that anger, whatever it was. I don't think you fully let it out and released it. You kept some of it back. And you told yourself mentally that you were over it, but I don't know that you are. So you're going to have to give yourself that space and time to be sad or angry or whatever you need to feel. Just allow yourself to feel it and express it in ways that are healthy. Give yourself that time. And on the other side of that, you're going to find that you're actually a lot more abundant, especially in terms of your emotional self. The 4 of coins here is about wealth usually, but it's kind of the riches of your own joy in this case, in the context of these cards. So you're going to come out the other side and have some really strong realizations of like, oh, I am actually like I have more riches and prosperity in my life than I realized, because you've let go of this emotional thing that you were holding on to. So that's a little vague, but that is what's going to go down. So just, again, prepare, give yourself that time and space to really just be with those emotions, allow them to flow and feel them and let them out. And you're going to be a lot richer and happier for it on the flip side. So thanks, Country. Thank you for your question tonight. Magic Dust is up next, and Magic Dust asks, will my finances increase for this year? We do love our financial questions. Always a classic. Okay. Will your finances increase for this year? There's a card. Two of Swords. King of Swords. Oh, there's the Hangman again. Okay. All right. Well, there's a very strong and clear message here. This will not take long to decipher it all. So I think a lot of your financial well-being has been a little bit held back because your attention is often kind of getting placed in two places at once, and you felt like maybe that's hard to juggle. Like if you could just focus all your attention on one thing or the other, it would allow you to have greater financial gains. You could put all that effort into the one thing. And Spirit wants to let you know that that's not necessarily the case. I think that's how you've been thinking about things. And that you're actually going to move past this. You're going to move into a place of mastery where you are the king of all this stuff. You are the king of your financial future. You are able to put your attention wherever it needs to be, in as many places it needs to be, without feeling like you're sacrificing something or being held back in another area. And when you start doing that and really stepping into that sort of leadership over your career, your job, your business, then your finances will improve with that. And that's going to feel uncomfortable. But again, the Hanged Man is this card of like, you're going to go through discomfort and challenge, stick with it, keep doing it. Because on the other side, you will prosper and you'll come out feeling like you really can just handle anything. And so, yes, your finances will start to increase when you get to that breakthrough. Okay? Thank you, Magic Dust. Speak Knowledge asks, what will be the outcome of my audiobook when I release it? Okay. Oh, fun. Well, Speak Knowledge, honestly, when it comes out, please pop in the chat on Thursday. I'd love to give it a listen. I'm real curious about your thoughts around personal development, that sort of thing. So, I always love to support all of my all the people I read for in any way I can. It's it's a two-way street. So I'll be real curious to hear this audiobook. Okay, so what will the outcome? Thank you. Well, we've got the Fool. How cool is that? I love the Fool. It's one of my favorite cards. The Three of Wands and then Temperance. Okay. So, in the beginning, this book, I think this audiobook is going to gain some traction. There's going to be some really strong and powerful outcomes of it. But it's going to take time once it's out in the world to build that momentum. And so that's what the Fool is really about, is like on the onset, it's not like you're going to release it and within a week, it's going to be like this, top 5 downloaded audiobooks kind of thing on Amazon or whatever. But it is going to be successful. So please don't misunderstand. But it is going to take time to build momentum and for those results of success to show up. And a lot of the work that you're going to have to do is getting the word out about the audiobook. I know it feels like, well, you wrote the book and that's the word you're trying to get out. That's your message. But the book itself has to be promoted. And so that's a lot of what you're going to engage with in the beginning. And that's going to feel really hard and it's going to feel uncomfortable. But you want to broaden your horizons. So don't play small with this. Really look towards talking about this book in as many places as you can as many podcasts, guest blogs, whatever. And really aim high, really reach out to places, to other websites, and again, other places where they have an audience, a big audience, maybe bigger than you think they would be. Why would this podcast want to talk to me? They have so many people in their audience, so many listeners, and I'm just kind of new at this. But like, dream big with that, and just talk about it incessantly. Like really, like be a shameless self promoter. That's very uncomfortable for a lot of us. I struggle with it too. But your message is important, and it's a good message, even without, having actually heard it. This is a valuable thing. So this isn't like you're shamelessly self-promoting some useless thing that people don't really need, or you're just, taking people's money and not giving them any real value. This is not like that. And so when the thing that you're offering has real value, there is no shame in talking about it nonstop and putting it out there, because it's a good thing and you believe it and the universe believes in it. And that's going to be the real transformation for you. It isn't just like I wrote the book and it's acclaimed. This is a whole facet of like personal branding and business and entrepreneurship that you're going to step into. And that's temperance. That's the transformation. So good luck with that. It's going to be fun to watch that. And maybe that'll inspire me to write my book sooner than later. So thanks for that, Speak Knowledge. It's great to have you here tonight. And we'll wrap up with JV and, of course, a love reading for the night. JV1234 asks, will I see my crush soon again? Well, let's see. Let's see what Spirit says. Yep. Okay. Will you see your crush again soon? And if so, how soon? 5 of Wands. Oh, there's that Hanged Man again. Oh, and that 3 of Cups. Okay. So this is a very succinct message, JV. You will see your crush again. It will be relatively soon, but it won't be soon enough for your liking. So it's going to be just long enough before you see them that you're like really aching to see them again. That's that discomfort card. And there's just some practical things going on in your crush's life that are going to slow this process down. It's going to delay how soon you will see them again, but you will see them again. And when you do, it's going to be glorious. It's going to be a wonderful reuniting, wonderful, joyful thing. But you are going to go through a little phase of like, oh, it's never going to happen. It can't happen soon enough. That, impatient kind of thing. And that's the fun and the ups and downs of love, unfortunately. But you'll get through it. Again, like when that starts creeping in, just, go do things to distract yourself, hang out with friends, read a good book, whatever it is you like to do. But it is going to happen. So, and again, it'll be a wonderful reunion with your crush. So, and that's going to wrap it up for the night. Thank you all for showing up. I love all of you, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will see you next Thursday.